Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Daniela and today I'm going to show you 13 ways to start a bead crochet rope. Because there are so many ways to do it, I have prepared a diagram with examples of what the resulting bead crochet ropes look like. If you want to print it out, there is a download link in the video description. There is a version with and without photos of the ropes, so you can choose which you like better. First, I will tell you something about it in general, and then I will show you all the possibilities in practice. Okay, so we have slip stitch variations on the left side and single crochet variations on the right side. The ones highlighted in blue are the ones I like the best, the ones I use the most. As you can see, the main difference is whether we have some rows without beads at the beginning or not. When we crochet the first few rows without beads, the work is easier to hold. It probably looks best with the magic circle, but even if we choose any other option, it doesn't matter because we hide the end in a bead cap. But I'm showing more of those combinations here because some people may like the option where the beginning doesn't look so good, but it doesn't matter because, as I said, it usually hides in a bead cap. Okay, so as far as the slip stitch goes, I often use this method where I do a chain stitch without beads, which I join into a circle and then start crocheting the beads. I think it looks nice. If I want to crochet a bangle and I need to do an invisible join, I use this second method where I start the chain stitch directly with beads. I don't like this third way because the beginning is very messy when you just use a slip stitch. That's why I have left out all the other combinations in this overview where you could start the first few rows with just slip stitch. It would also be possible to start a magic circle or fake magic circle this way, but I don't see the point, so I left it out completely. Now we will skip to single crochet and then I will come back to combinations. Again, we have an option where you crochet straight with beads or have several rows without beads. I used to use this method with rows without beads for single crochet, but now I prefer magic circle. When we start with magic circle, we can again crochet several rows without beads. This is probably my favorite option. Or we can just crochet the first row without beads and then continue with beads. As you can see, it doesn't look very good for bead crochet rope, but this method is used for balls, eggs and other similar products. That's why I have this option highlighted too. If you don't like magic circle, you may still like, I call it fake magic circle. I've seen it various YouTube videos that a lot of people start bead crochet ropes this way. You basically do a chain stitch and on the next row you don't have to insert the hook directly into the loops but freely into the circle like with a magic circle. So you can make the chain stitch tighter and then the first row is not as wide. The difference between magic circle and a fake magic circle is that you can't pull the fake magic circle as tight as you need to. And then I have combination where I start the same as with single crochet, but as soon as I add beads, I'm doing a slip stitch. So this beginning is the same as this one, but once I start adding beads, I just used slip stitch. Likewise these. The beginning without the beads is the same, but here we have a slip stitch with beads and here we have single crochet. Same with option 12. I have a magic circle and first row of single crochet without beads, same as with option 6, and then continue with slip stitch with beads. I would say that is option 12. Is very similar to the first option. And in the last option 13 we have the same beginning as in option 9 and then continue with slip stitch with beads. It's very similar to 11, but if I have to choose between 11 and 13 I prefer 11. Now I will show you all the ways in practice. I will use big beads, thick yarn and a big hook so you can see everything better. And if you want to skip to the option you are interested in, you can always see what I'm crocheting here on the top left. And of course I will divide the video into chapters to make it easier to skip. For option number 1, I will join chain stitch in the round and then crochet a slip stitch with beads. I'll make a slip knot first. I wrap the yarn around my index finger. I put the hook inside, yarn over, pull through and again pull through. And I pull the end tail. And now I'm gonna do a chain stitch. The rope will have 6 beads in the round, so I'm gonna do 6 chain stitches. Now I'm going to join the chain in a round. Insert the hook into the first loop under 2 threads. And I join it using a slip stitch. I prepare 6 beads, which will create the first row with beads. Now I put the hook in the exact same loop, this is important. Slide a bead down, yarn over, and pull through both loops on the hook. Do the next loop under 2 threads. Slide a bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. Continue the same way to the end of the first row. This is the finished first row with beads. There will be a bit of a change for the second and subsequent rows. I prepare another 6 beads for the second row. I put the hook right to the loop under the first bead we have crocheted. Push the bead down to the right. This is very, very important. Slide the bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. And we will continue like this until the end of the rope. To the loop under the bead, push the bead down to the right, slide the bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. If we didn't move the beads, you would see that in another 2 or 3 rows you would have a mess instead of a rope. This is one of the common mistakes that happens. As I said, I crocheted with thick yarn and large beads so you can see the process properly, so it doesn't look quite good. But then if you crochet with the right size thread and beads, it will look nice. The beads will be nice and close together. And this is what it looks like after a few rows. And now I'm going to show you option number 2. I will make a chain stitch with beads, then join it in a circle. This is how we start bead crochet ropes when we make bangles. We can then simply connect the 2 ends with an invisible join. I'll make a slip knot first. I'll prepare 10 beads because my rope will be 10 beads in diameter. And I will do a chain stitch right with the beads. Slide 1 bead down, yarn over and pull through. Now I have 10 beads in a chain stitch. I prepare another 10 beads for the next row. And I connect chain in a circle. I put the hook into the first loop right under the bead. Push the bead down to the right. Slide 1 bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. It's just a slip stitch. Put the hook to the next loop right under the bead. Push the bead down to the right. Slide the bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. I continue in exactly the same way to the end of the rope. And this is what a few rows look like. For this option number 3, I will join chain stitch in the round and crochet the first few rows without beads. So the third thing we'll do, as always, is make a slip knot. I'll put a hook inside, I grip the yarn with my thumb, I pull through the loop and pull through again. and I pull the ending tail, and that will tighten the knot. This is how I most often make a slip knot. Slip stitch is commonly used with smaller diameter ropes, for example 6 to 8 beads in diameter, but since I'm using thick thread and large beads for the demonstration, I'll be crocheting a 10 bead diameter to keep it clear. So I make 10 chain stitches because I will have 10 beads in a round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. As you can see, my loops are pretty loose. That's to make it easier to see. But when you crochet a real rope, tighten appropriately. Not too much, not too little. So we have 10 chain stitches, and now we connect the chain to the circle. That means I put the hook in the first loop and make a slip stitch. This is how I joined the chain in a circle. You don't have to do it, but I like to do that extra chain stitch at the beginning of the next row. Just for this row, I don't do it for the next ones, and I crochet continuously. I put the hook in the same loop again. This is important, in the same loop, and make a slip stitch. I'll put the hook in the next loop and slip stitch again. Always insert the hook into the loop under 2 threads and continue like this for a few rows. To the next loop and slip stitch. From time to time, it's a good idea to check if you have the right number of loops in a row. I've crocheted a few rows and I'm starting to add beads. I'm preparing the first 10 beads that will form the first row of beads. I insert the hook into the next loop, slide a bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. And again, into the next loop, slide a bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. And I will continue like this until the end of the row. I'm getting my beads ready for the second row. This time insert the hook into the loop directly under the bead. Push the bead down to the right, slide the next bead, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. And we are gonna keep going the same way. Insert the hook under the next bead, push the bead down to the right, that's very important. If we didn't move the beads, you would see that in another 2 or 3 rows you would have a mess instead of a rope. This is one of the most common mistakes that happens. The second row is done and we continue in exactly the same way until the end of the rope. And this is what it looks like after a few rows. Now I'm going to show you option number 4 when I join a chain in a circle and then single crochet with beads. I start with a slip knot as always. I'm gonna have 10 beads per row, so I'm gonna do 10 chain stitches. I put the hook to the first loop under 2 threads and join it with a slip stitch. I put the hook in the exact same loop again. Slide 1 bead down, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Insert the hook to the next loop under 2 threads and continue exactly the same way. Slide 1 bead down, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. And continue the same way until the end of the row. I will show you the second row just to be sure. I'll put the hook in the loop of the bead under 2 threads, slide a bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Now I'm going to show you option number 5. I'm gonna make a slip knot again. We are gonna have 10 beads per row, so we are gonna do 10 chain stitches. Now I need to join a chain in a circle, so I put the hook to the first loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. So I joined the chain with a slip stitch. I put the hook to the exact same loop, it is very important. Yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. I made a single crochet. And I will continue single crochet until I have enough rows without beads. To the next loop, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Always insert the hook in the loop under 2 threads. I tried putting it under 1, but I didn't like the result. Without beads, it's a good idea to crochet as many rows as you can comfortably fit in the bead cap. Then I prepare 10 beads for the first row of beads. I put the hook to the next loop, slide a bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over again and pull through both loops. And I will continue in the same way until the end of the rope. This is what the first row looks like, and I will show you the next row just in case, so you know where to insert the hook. I normally insert the hook into the next loop of the bead under 2 threads. Slide a bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. I think a single crochet with beads is a bit more clear than slip stitch, but of course it depends on your preferences. The option number 6. I start with a magic circle, then crochet one row without beads, and then I will continue the next rows with beads. This is my end tail, this is my working tail. I take my end tail, I wrap it diagonally around 2 or 3 fingers. I cross the yarn and I grab both ends with my thumb. The other side looks like this. I'll turn my hand, take a hook. I put the hook under the right thread. I pull on the other thread and turn the hook at the same time to make a loop. Yarn over and pull through. This part with 2 threads is on the left side. I'll start the first row without beads. I will have 10 beads per row, so I will do 10 single crochet stitches. I put the hook inside this big loop. Yarn over, pull through one loop. Yarn over and pull through both loops. I made 1 single crochet stitch. I continue in the same way. Put the hook inside a big loop. Yarn over, pull through one, yarn over and pull through both loops. Continue like this until you have 10 single crochet stitches. And I hold my work this way to keep it from getting twisted. Now I have 10 single crochet stitches and I pull the end tail. And since we are only doing bead crochet rope, and we are not doing a ball or an egg or anything like that, we can leave this gap here. If we are making, say, a ball, we'd pull it all the way down so there's no gap. Now I just need to close the circle, so I put the hook to the first loop and make a slip stitch. And we have a magic circle. I'll continue with the beads now. I prepare 10 beads for the first row with beads, and I will do a single crochet with beads. I put the hook into the exact same loop. This is very important. Slide the bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Put the hook to the next loop right under 2 threads. You can see the 2 threads here. Slide the bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Continue exactly the same way. I think the magic circle makes the loop beautifully clear. You are unlikely to make a mistake. This is what the first row with beads looks like. The other rows are also done the same way, but I will show you just in case. Put the hook to the loop of the first bead. Slide the bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Do the next loop and continue the same way. And this is how it looks. If you want, you can always tighten up the beginning later. Option number 7. I'll make a magic circle and then the first few rows without beads. I take my end tail, I wrap it diagonally around 2 or 3 fingers, I cross the yarn and I grab both ends with my thumb. The other side looks like this. I put the hook under the right thread, I pull the other thread and turn the hook at the same time to make a loop. Yarn over and pull through. This part with 2 threads is on the left side. The diameter of the rope is 10 beads, so I will crochet 10 single crochet stitches. I will put the hook in the big loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops and make 10 single crochet stitches this way. I have 10 single crochet stitches and I pull the end tail. Spread the loops evenly. To close the magic circle, put the hook to the first loop and make a slip stitch. The magic circle is done and I will continue a few rows without beads. I will continue with a single crochet. Put the hook into the same loop, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. To the next loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over and pull through both. And continue like this for a few rows. This is what several rows look like when crocheted. I think the beginning is very nice and now I'm going to start adding beads. I put the hook to the next loop, slide the bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. It's just a single crochet with beads. To the next loop, pull through one loop and pull through both loops. And I will continue in the same way. I like the magic circle very much because I find the beginning very nice and clear. This is what the first row with beads looks like. I will also show the second row for clarity. I put the hook to the loop of the next bead and continue single crochet. Not everyone likes magic circles, so I'm going to show you how to make a fake magic circle. I will start by making a slip knot. Put the hook inside, catch the thread, pull through and pull through again, and I'll tighten the knot. The rope will be 10 beads in diameter, so I will make 10 chain stitches. I can tighten the individual ropes more because then I won't put a hook in them. Now I join the chain in the round, that is, I insert the hook in the first loop under 2 threads and join with a slip stitch. Now I insert the hook not in the loop but freely into the ring. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. I will do 10 single crochet stitches in total. This was one. Again, to the circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. I'm trying to spread the loops evenly around the edge. Now I join the circle, so I put the hook to the first loop and make a slip stitch. And now I'm going to continue with the beads. So I'm going to prepare the first 10 beads that will create the first row of beads. I put the hook in the same loop, that's important. Slide the bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. To the next loop the same. Slide the bead down, yarn over, pull through one, pull through both. It's actually very similar to the magic circle, but with the magic circle you can adjust the size of the hole in the middle. This is not possible with the fake magic circle. I think it's also a fairly simple start, but if I have to choose between a magic circle and a fake magic circle, I'd rather choose a magic circle. But it's up to each person what suits them better. This is how the first row with beads look like. I will also continue a single crochet with beads in the next rows. Put the hook to the next loop and single crochet. This is what the 2 rows look like. Now I'm going to show option number 9, which is a fake magic circle with the first few rows being crocheted without beads. I start with a slip knot. And I make 10 chain stitches because my rope will be 10 beads in diameter. I have 10 chain stitches. Now I'm going to join the chain in a circle. That is, I'm going to put a hook in the first loop under 2 threads and join it using a slip stitch. Now I'm going to continue single crochet, and I'm not going to insert the hook in individual loops, but right here in the big circle. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops. This is 1 single crochet, so I will do 9 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I will insert the hook into the first single crochet loop and join it using a slip stitch. Now I put the hook into the exact same loop and I will continue a few rows of single crochet. Pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. To the next loop and single crochet again. I've crocheted a few rows without beads, and now I'm going to prepare 10 beads for the first row with beads. And I'm going to do a normal single crochet with beads. Put the hook to the next loop, slide one bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. To the next loop, slide a bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. And continue the same way till the end of the bead crochet rope. This is what the first row with beads looks like. For completeness, I will show you what the second row looks like. Insert the hook into the loop of the first bead, slide one bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops, and continue the same way. And this is what two rows look like. Option number 10. This brings us to the combinations. I crochet the first few rows using a single crochet and then slip stitch with beads. I will make a slip knot first. And I'm going to do 10 chain stitches because the rope will have 10 beads in a row. And I join it in a circle, so I put the hook to the first loop under 2 threads and join it with a slip stitch. And now I will continue with a single crochet, so I put the hook to the exact same loop again, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. To the next loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over and pull through both. And continue exactly the same way until we have 10 single crochet stitches. I have first 10 single crochet stitches and I will continue the same way. Insert the hook in the first single crochet stitch and continue. In the next rows, the loops are easier to see and it's easier to hold. I've crocheted a few rows of single crochet without beads, and now I'm going to combine it and continue with slip stitch. Put the hook to the next loop, slide a bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. I crochet a whole row in the same way. To the next loop, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. The first row is done. And since we are working slip stitch, the second and other rows will be done a little differently. So I put the hook into the next loop right under the bead, push the bead down to the right, slide the bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. And we will continue in this way until the end of the rope. To the next loop right under the bead, push the bead down to the right, slide the bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. And this is what several rows look like. Option number 11. First I make a magic circle and then first few rows without beads and then slip stitch with beads. I take the end tail and wrap it around my fingers. I cross the yarn and grab both ends with my thumb. I will turn my hand over. I put the hook under the right thread, pull the left thread while turning the hook to make a loop. Yarn over and pull through the loop. Where I have the end tail, it's going to point to the left. The rope will have 10 beads again, so I will make 10 single crochet stitches. I'll insert the hook directly into the circle. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops. It's just a single crochet stitch. And again to the circle. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops. And we will continue until we have 10. Now I'm going to take the end tail and pull it like this. I will spread the loops evenly. I joined the magic circle, so I put the hook to the first single crochet stitch and join it using a slip stitch. I'm crocheting a few more rows without beads, a single crochet stitch. So I put the hook to the exact same loop and single crochet. To the next loop. I have finished a few rows without beads and I will continue to slip stitch with beads. I put the hook normally to the next loop, slide a bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops. Classic slip stitch with beads. To the next loop and do exactly the same. This is what the first row with beads looks like. And because we are doing a slip stitch, the second and subsequent rows will be slightly different. We have to move the bead to the right and down, so I will show it again. Put the hook to the loop right under the bead. Push the bead down to the right. Slide the bead down. Yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. And continue exactly the same way until the end of the bead crochet rope. And this is what several rows look like. Next to last option, option number 12. I'm going to do a magic circle, then only one row of single crochet with beads and then a slip stitch with beads. I take the end tail and wrap it around my fingers. I cross the yarn and grab both ends with my thumb. I'll turn my hand over. I put the hook under the right thread. Pull the left thread while turning the hook to make a loop. Yarn over and pull through the loop. Where I have the end tail, it's going to point to the left. The rope will have 10 beads again, so I will make 10 single crochet stitches. I'll insert the hook directly into the circle. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops. It's just a single crochet stitch. And again to the circle. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops. Here we have 2 single crochet stitches and we will continue until we have 10. Now I'm gonna take the end tail and pull it like this. And I'll spread the loops evenly. I joined the magic circle, so I put the hook to the first single crochet stitch and join it using a slip stitch. And now we will continue with beads and we will do a slip stitch with beads. So I prepare first 10 beads, which will create the first row with beads. Put the hook to the exact same loop, it is important. Slide a bead down, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. Put the hook to the next loop and do exactly the same. This is what the first row with beads looks like. And because we are doing a slip stitch, the second and subsequent rows will be slightly different. We have to move the bead to the right and down, so I will show it again. Put the hook to the loop right under the bead. Push the bead down to the right. Slide the bead down. Yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. And continue exactly the same way until the end of the bead crochet rope. And this is what several rows look like. And the 13th and final option. I make a fake magic circle, first few rows of single crochet without beads and then slip stitch with beads. So I start a fake magic circle with a slip knot. I do it like this. Again, the rope will be 10 beads in diameter, so I will do 10 chain stitches. Now I connect the chain in a circle, so I put the hook to the first loop and join it with a slip stitch. And now I will continue like with magic circle, and I will crochet the first few rows of single crochet without beads. Put the hook right to the circle, yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Work 10 single crochet stitches in this way. Now I insert the hook to the first single crochet stitch and continue with a single crochet for a few rows. I crocheted a few rows without beads, and then I will continue using a slip stitch with beads. I insert the hook to the next loop, slide one bead down, yarn over, and pull through both loops. And again the same. Put the hook to the next loop, slide a bead down, yarn over, and pull through both loops. This is what the first row with beads looks like. And because we are doing a slip stitch, the second and subsequent rows will be slightly different. We have to move the bead to the right and down, so I will show it again. Put the hook to the loop right under the bead, push the bead down to the right, slide the bead down, yarn over, and pull through both loops on the hook. And continue exactly the same way until the end of the bead crochet rope. And this is what several rows look like. Oh, this was a long video. I hope you find this information useful. If so, be sure to subscribe to my channel. If you are just starting out with bead crochet, there are lots of videos on my channel on this topic. And I will see you next time. Bye!